The diatonic chords with dominant function are the 5 and the 7 chord. They have one primary function: go to tonic. The most important dominant function chord is the 5 chord, as it's the second most important chord in any key. The 5 chord has a very close relationship with the 1 chord, and the entirety of Western common practice music is centered around the relationship between 5 and 1. The 5 chord is a major chord in both major and minor keys because of the common chromatic alteration that we make in minor keys. The reason that it's important for the 5 to be major in both keys is the preservation of the leading tone. This leading tone is what creates such a strong desire to move to the tonic. Here's the 5 chord, and here's the 1 chord. The leading tone is here, 1/2 step below the tonic. It's called the leading tone because it leads us to the tonic. Adding to that tension, we often see the 5 chord as a 5-7 chord, which means that the chord, instead of being a basic triad, 1, 3, and 5, has a 7th added to it, so there's 4 notes. In the major key, the 5-7 chord is a major minor 7, which gives it a very distinctive sound. And since it plays such a particular function, it even has its own name, the dominant 7 chord. This chord has a tritone between the 4th and 7th scale degrees. It creates a stronger need for the chord to resolve. This tritone will resolve inward. Fa will go down to Mi, and Ti will go up to Do. In terms of progression, the 5 chord can go to any tonic function chord, but primarily the 1 or the 6. If the 5 was to go to a subdominant chord, at least in classical music, this would be considered regressive, and therefore undesirable. This rule doesn't really exist anymore, as the 5 chord is commonly seen going to the 4 chord in modern music. Now, the 7 chord is an interesting case. It's made up of the 7th, the 2nd, and the 4th scale degrees, which is a diminished chord in a major key, which you'll notice is 3 of the 4 notes that were in the 5-7 chord. This means that the 7 chord is going to function exactly like the 5 chord in most cases. This has led some theorists to say that the 7 chord doesn't actually exist, but it's just a 5-7 chord with a missing root. The 7 chord is often the bridge between the 1 chord and the 1 chord in first inversion. And in terms of progression, much like the 5 chord, it's only really ever going to progress to a tonic function chord. Next time we'll look at subdominant function chords, which is the 2 and the 4 chord. So leave any questions you have in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this episode of 2-Minute Music Theory. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. Also be sure to check out my other channel, Jesse Strickland Music, which is home of all of my compositions. And if you're the kind of person who uses social media, feel free to connect with me there.